Welcome to IBIS Weather. This is Sarah. This is the update for February 15th, 2026. We are in day three of the current severe weather threat that we are having this weekend. Did not get around posting an update yesterday, but we will kind of go over what happened yesterday and then look what the conditions are going to be like for today, what can we expect, and then also talking about the next possible upcoming severe weather threat that we could have a week from today, so next weekend. So let's go ahead and get started. We are, of course, starting with the National Weather Service's watches, warnings, and advisory display. This time it is a bit more colorful, particularly you'll notice over there in South Georgia and what central West Central Florida. There is yellow. That is because there are currently tornado watches. A tornado watch obviously indicates that the conditions are right. It's possible a tornado or two could possibly try to spin up. It's not the same as a warning. If it's a warning, it would either be indicated because of the radar signature showing a possible tornado, or it will be spotted by a trained spotter out there. Um, so that's kind of the difference to give you guys difference between a watch and a warning. So we are right now currently in a tornado watches for two parts. One's about to expire right at 3 o'clock, so about 30 minutes, and then the other will go on until 8 p.m. tonight. And then the rest of the country is starting to get a little more colorful as well, as we can see, with some fire advisories, red flag advisories, and of course drought warnings. And then it looks like a little bit of possibly some winter weather mix happening over there in more of the northwest portions and the coastal portions of California and the Pacific Northwest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the live radar. So this is currently what's going on. So our storm system is tracking to the east as expected. So everywhere from basically the mid-Atlantic all the way down to the Big Bend of Florida are experiencing or will experience thunderstorms, rain, and wind again, as what we saw yesterday and the day before, and what I've been saying for the 2 days leading up to it. It will most likely be just a wind threat more so than a tornado. Of course, tornado conditions, there is the watch, so there is a possibility, a small possibility, that we may see some brief tornadoes try to spin up again. But again, this is not going to be this major outbreak as some people have tried to lead you to believe. So that is the good news, but definitely stay weather aware. Make sure you have a way to get dates, watches, and warnings, preferably on your phone, since most people have their phones with them and on them pretty much everywhere. So that way you are, whether, you're aware and alert to any issues or more watches, or in this case, warnings might pop up between now and tonight. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the tornado watch that's currently going to expire in about 30 minutes. So as you can see, a moderate one for portions of South Central Georgia into uh, Florida into Big Bend area. So this one is about to expire as the storms are starting to push their way out of there. So that's good news. Um, the highest risk that you guys have would be EF1 or below tornado, which is the moderate risk along with severe winds moderate. All the other ones are low, so EF2 plus tornadoes are low, having 65 knot plus winds, and then severe hail or 2 inches plus hail, very low for those areas. So that is good news for you guys. Um, oops, what did I click? Okay, so yes, that is what we got for that. The current one has started about a little over an hour ago. That will be valid until 8 p.m. Eastern. Would be more of the coastal regions from Brunswick down to Jacksonville uh, and Gainesville, Florida. Obviously, it was moving out of Tallahassee. That watch will end at 3 for you guys. So again, moderate risk for tornadoes, moderate low end tornadoes, I should say specifically. Again, EF1 and below, so EF1 or EF0 is possible. Again, not high risk, moderate risk, meaning that you might see something try to form. Moderate risk of wind, severe wind. Again, low for everything else, which is good news. This is the current Cape values for the southeast part of the country. Again, they're, a little over 1,000. Nothing too wild or crazy, which is good news. We don't want it to be super wild and woolly out there for you guys. So that is good news. That is going to definitely kind of help keep some of the severe weather a little bit more down, which is good news. We don't want to have it super high risk. Again, we're still kind of early in the season. Like I said, this is a kind of our first inkling of what spring might be like for, the plains all the way across the southeast US. I think this is probably our first example of what we might see. But again, because it's still relatively early in the season, we just don't have the right environments or factors for a huge outbreak, which is good news. I don't think anyone's complaining about that. I'm pretty sure even tornado chasers would not complain about that. So that is definitely good news, but still small risk there. Thunderstorm outlook, obviously, right now is definitely a little bit on the higher side here. So anything that is in the brown is 10% chance for thunderstorms. The blue is 40%. So that's all the way from like Hilton Head, South Carolina, all the way down through all of coastal Georgia, the northeast Florida, a little bit into the southwest, south. Okay, rephrase this. The Big Bend area, let's put it that way. And then of course there's a little bit of a higher risk, 70% over there, particularly around west of Jacksonville, and over there by the Okefenokee Swamp. So that is interesting. We'll kind of see how that plays out. Right now, where I am, I'm in coastal Georgia, so we haven't gotten anything yet. I can say it is getting cloudy, and the line of storms is getting closer to us. So we'll probably start seeing something in an hour or two. Um, but right now, it's nothing, super terrifying. I will say it was interesting today seeing it was earlier, breezier and windier, and how it's kind of died out, which does kind of again give credence to the threat of tornadoes. Even though where I am, we're not in a tornado watch, doesn't mean that tornadoes are going to pay attention to that. So even if you're not in the immediate tornado watch areas, I would still recommend anywhere in Florida and Georgia, be aware, be weather aware, pay attention to fast changing conditions, because they do happen, unfortunately, and tornadoes don't really particularly care about the rules. Um, so this is the current map of what the kind of surface map looks like. So as you can see, we do have severe thunderstorms possible again, kind of from the Big Bend of Florida into southeast Georgia, except for Savannah River area. And then we do have rain and thunderstorms all the way swinging back to Louisiana, all the way up into southeast part of North Carolina. That includes all of Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and of course, Florida. The greatest risk, though, like I said, is for Southeast Georgia and into Florida in the Big Bend region. Moving on to Cape values. Again, this is one particular model for it. This is, I believe, the GFS that we have. So this is the one of the more wild and woolly ones. So showing at right now at 2 p.m. Again, showing Cape not super high. Again, we're not seeing particularly reds or pinks, or purples, which is good news. Definitely most of the high threat is well off into the Gulf still, not getting close to land except for maybe a little bit over there by Destin, but that's still not that high of a chance. So that is good news. South of Atlanta and east of Atlanta, definitely lower than that. So that is good news. Hopefully, we will not see a lot of tornadoes outbreak. I don't think we will. If we go next to 3 o'clock, again, kind of the same, not really changing much. We do see a little bit of basically the same as what we saw. Greatest risk maybe a little bit north up Destin there. If we go to 4 p.m., again, kind of moving more east slowly, so it's definitely kind of moving slower. Again, most of the highest risk is still off the west coast of Florida at that time. By 5 p.m., still pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and fast forward to 7 p.m., and you can start seeing how the Cape, because of daytime heating and the sun going down, all that those values will drop. Seeing over there in the Gulf kind of shrinking, and then also you see a little bit more over there off, basically from Miami all the way up to off the coast of Charleston. A little bit higher values, but again, nothing that's super bad. The watch will end at 8, so again, pretty much the same, and I think probably by 11 p.m. Yeah, it's pretty much moving away and petering out, which is good news. So that is good news for everyone. Again, not super high Cape values, which was what I didn't think we would see. I just don't think the conditions are right. So that is good news. Go ahead and see what happened yesterday, since some of the hype was about threat tornadoes. I'm sure you've even seen some of it on like the Yahoo homepage today. Before we do that, let's go ahead and look at this is the categorical outlook. So again, pretty much slight, which is what we've been seeing since Texas, and then of course across um, Louisiana, Mississippi yesterday, and Alabama. Slight again, anywhere from like Destin up to just south of Savannah, Georgia, a little bit up into central Georgia. It has the quote unquote highest risk, which is still not very much. That's from Jacksonville, Tallahassee, Gainesville, Spring Hill, and Albany, Georgia. Marginal is anywhere from Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Orlando, Savannah, Georgia, and Clearwater. And then everything to lighter green is just possible thunderstorm, nothing super crazy, which is good news. So, again, I do think everyone has a chance of seeing something, some kind of storm pop up go over them, but it does look like the risk of tornadoes are super high for anyone, which is good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the particular one. So yeah, even at the highest risk again, so from like Brunswick all the way down into Tallahassee, Florida is only 5%. Everywhere else is 2%. So it's definitely not dead for everywhere else either. That is in the green, but not super high for those in the bigger probability zones. So that's good news. Let's go ahead and see what the storm reports were for yesterday, which was Valentine's Day. We do have a total of, it looks like, 8 tornado reports that were reported from basically mostly, it looks like it was in Louisiana and a little bit into Mississippi. There was also wind reports and hail or high, reports and high winds, so 86 to 1. Um, Hail 5 to for rare, and then for large hail 0, and total reports of a 99. So definitely, again, like I was saying, wind was the greatest threat, and it still looks like will be the greatest threat tonight until about 8 p.m. So let's see. We had a possible tornado over there in Vernon, Louisiana yesterday, around 2:05 in the afternoon. Evangeline, 3:23. St. Landry, 4:13. Lincoln, Mississippi at 6:13. Lawrence, Mississippi, 6:23. Again, a couple more in Lawrence for the 6 o'clock hour. And then Covington, Mississippi at 7:12. Um, so looks like those are the reports. Obviously, they will send out teams to find out particularly if it was indeed tornado. Some of them do mention it does look like it was showing the signature for a tornado on radar, so it's very possible and likely it was. If it was, again, it probably was EF1 or EF0, which is good news. And like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of reports, which is good news. And total, I mean, it might have really only been one or two tornadoes. There's just reports of showing a couple different locations, most of them being actually in Lawrence, Mississippi. Hail reports, Zavala, Texas, DeWitt, Texas, and then Victoria, Texas. Wind reports, Smith, Texas, Upshur, Smith again, Upshur again for Texas. Lots of Upshur, Wilson, Rusk, DeWitt again, Nacogdoches had one around 6:40. Down trees and power lines over there. Austin had some, again, Nacogdoches, Shelby, Texas, Montgomery, Fort Bend, Brazoria, Kleberg, Brazoria again. Harris had one even. Fences down near a certain area there. Brazoria, more in Harris. Oh, they even had staircase damage, so that was definitely a powerful wind, possibly a pow can't think of the term for that kind of wind I'm thinking of. Possible, downdraft of strong wind. Galveston had some as well. Harding, Sabine, Orange, Jefferson, Galveston again, Jefferson, Newton, Beauregard, Louisiana, a couple other areas in Louisiana. And then some in Mississippi, from Wilkinson to Amet, Siberia, Franklin, lots of might. Ascension, Louisiana. So yes, again, wind was the highest risk there, which I don't think should surprise anyone if you look at just the system or the particularly the atmospheric conditions, and also going off of what the National Weather Service was saying as well. So it shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone that no major tornado outbreak happened. This is good news, and I anticipate we'll probably see very similar reports tomorrow for today. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next upcoming threat that will be probably most likely next weekend. So this is the GFS. As you can see, it's showing the current one for about 6 p.m. Obviously, it's not really looking like what the current conditions are. Definitely showed it being more active out west of the main line. That's just not the case, which is good news for people from Tennessee back into uh, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, and even Alabama. So that is good news. Let's go ahead and progress forward. We see it move out tonight by 12 tomorrow noon on Monday. Stays well off course, well offshore, I should say. We see the next storm system starting to move in on the west coast. Snow, let's see when the snow starts. It looks like snow starts somewhat tomorrow evening, moves more into the intermountain part, interwest mountains, or I should say intermountain west. So Tuesday, definitely snow for Idaho, Wyoming, um, Nevada, and Utah. And Colorado was mostly rain with a little bit of snow over there in Arizona. Keep going forward. Kind of dies out Peters, and we see what probably will be another cold front swinging over at least through the northern portions of the U.S. So anywhere from snow for North Dakota, a little bit in South Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, of course, Michigan, a little bit in the rain into Illinois, and starting to the Mid Atlantic over there by the Great Lakes by Wednesday. And that pushes out. More snow for the Intermountain West again Thursday. And then come Friday at 6 p.m., we start seeing some storms forming over here by the Texarkana area, the Arklatex. We see some snow over there in the Four Corners and a little bit into Kansas. And then you see the bad weather firing up even more by midnight Saturday over there by Missouri and Arkansas and into Tennessee. And that continue to move out east, spreads up more to the Mid Atlantic. And then we do see a line going across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. Not looking super powerful at the moment, which is to kind of see it flaring. Actually, it's interesting. This one is showing it kind of petering out in the afternoon and then flaring back up later on into Monday morning. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Possible snow for Virginia, it looks like as well. Again, not a whole lot of snow. And then it looks like the next storm system coming in to the west coast. Again, this is GFS, so we do have to remember that and want to keep this in mind that GFS is a little bit wild and woolly. They like to throw out different ideas that usually don't work out the way that they think it will. So it will be interesting to see. Let's go ahead and see what the Euro modeling is showing for it. So again, if we start by 3 p.m. today, again, kind of showing storms more a little bit out west than it is. Um, let's go ahead and get that out. So again, by tomorrow morning, offshore, next storm system coming in through the west coast. We do see snow into the intermountain west, and then swinging up into the northern portions of the U.S., going across into Mid-Atlantic and New England, or snow for the intermountain west, going a little bit into the northern plains. By Friday, we start seeing this one having a little bit more out east when we're starting to see some storms fire up over there, mostly by Tennessee, all the way down to Mississippi and Alabama. We see a little bit over in coastal panhandle of Florida and, of course, southern Louisiana. I don't even get my states mixed up. I apologize. Southern Alabama and Mississippi, and then, of course, into Louisiana over here. Um, and then we see it kind of firing up and filling out more as it pushes through. So again, this one kind of shows Friday, some rain even for the deep south. Let's see what it shows. More a second round popping up by Saturday. Again, this one doesn't go as far as the GFS, so this one does end a little bit earlier, but we do see another round of storms firing up again from Arkansas into Tennessee and a little bit into northern Georgia. So we'll have to wait and see what it does with that. But that will probably be our most likely uh, next chance of some wild weather and severe weather at that. So let's go ahead and round us all up and loop back in. Current conditions, obviously, we are experiencing some storms that are pushing their way off the East Coast, Southeast Coast. We do have about a little less than 15 minutes left for tornado watch number 8. Again, this is mostly for Florida, a little bit into Georgia, and then we have our other one until 8 o'clock, which is for a bigger portion from just a little south of the Savannah area, including Brunswick, Albany, Jacksonville, Gainesville. The other one included the one that's way out to expire is Tallahassee, so you guys are almost in the clear. And then this one is until 8 p.m., so just keep that in mind. Again, tornado threat is not super high, which is good news. I don't think anybody wanted uh, a very big tornado outbreak. I don't think the conditions are right. Again, highest chance is 5%, which is pretty low, which is good news. Everywhere else is 2%, so it is possible that we could see something. But I think if anything, it will be like what we saw yesterday, where it was just mostly a wind event with some tornadoes spinning up. So just make sure you have a way to stay weather aware. Of course, continue to come back to this channel to watch for more weather updates. We will do another video tomorrow. Again, kind of tracking what this next storm could bring for us next week, which I think would be our next round of severe weather. Again, kind of the same areas that we saw this weekend. So make sure if you do have chance between now and then, enjoy the nice weather between break between the two. Of course, if you are out west and Intermountain West, prepare for snow. I don't think you guys are gonna have a whole lot of snow, which is good news, but still, it's gonna be cold, not snow, so you guys do want to be aware of that. Make sure you continue to follow your trusted source for weather updates. Have a way to receive critical watches and warning updates, particularly on your phone if you have, as a trusted news station you have, or different personality that you might have on the internet. And again, like I said, do come back. I will continue to be posting updates. Please like, share, and comment below to let me know where you guys are located and what you're experiencing, or if you did experience severe weather yesterday or today. I would love to know. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.